stumbled across this video and it really hindered the quality of my day. So now it's your turn. There is a Trump supporter. You're going to think this is satire. It's not. We looked at her social media feed. She indeed is a Trump supporter. But she's more than that. She's sort of really QAnon-y and very much full-on conspiracy theorist. And I don't even know what to say about this, so let's just jump into it. She starts walking through a theory that I've kind of heard before, but it's so wild, that Trump is a character, like an actor, and no, I can't even explain it. Let's just watch, okay? And then we can all react together.
So just like that, the mention of Epstein files is done. Why, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked, because of the whole Ukraine thing and Zelensky and Trump arguing with each other, and basically Trump giving the boot to Zelensky saying, fuck you, I'm not paying you any more money because you don't need it. Now, here's my theory on it. Everybody knows what Mark...
All right, so far, normal MAGA stuff. Here we go. What's her theory on it? Please do tell. Here we go. Oh, goodness.
March 4th is. Obviously, that's coming up in the next couple...
Okay, well, let me go back. She said, everyone knows what March 4th is. No, we don't.
Fuck you, I'm not paying you any more money because you don't need it. Now, here's my theory on it. Everybody knows what March 4th is. Obviously, that's coming up in the next couple of days. That's the true day of when things are supposed to happen.
What are things?
From the first president to the 33rd president, look into it on what day they did the inauguration. Now, here's my theory on it. Obviously, with the dividends and all that, which a lot of you apparently don't understand what dividend means. It means it's a payment over time. You're not just getting one stimmy check, you're getting Doge dividends. You're getting payments over time. Now, the reason why this can't happen at this moment in time is because we're currently still stuck in the corporation. Hence why on January 20th, Donald Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible, because that's not the true day of the inauguration. The actual day of the inauguration is March 4th. So we cannot go with the debt-free and all of that shit until after March 4th, when Donald Trump is truly going to swear in.
By the way, I love that they have like church, but Protestant church pastors praying. Synth? What's it called, Jaden? You're a music guy. Synthesizer? Yeah. Synth. Under it really adds to the drama. So what she's explaining is that I guess the view is Trump wasn't really inaugurated yet. He was just inaugurated to the Corporation of America, but not the Republic of America. And he's going to be really sworn in, and then we'll have all of our debt relieved. Okay.
Or is it actually Donald Trump that's going to swear in on March 4th? Now, a long time ago, I remember seeing the Q drop and quite a few things that explain.
By the way, for the algorithm, little AI scanner that has wrongfully interpreted what she's saying as me saying it, this is not factual information. This is a conspiracy theory.
The dead man switch. There's going to be a dead man switch coming at some point. That has to happen as well. The breakdown of what happened between Zelensky and Trump is because Trump, the character, actor, Hollywood Boulevard, has a star of Donald Trump on the boardwalk. Donald Trump, the character, has to be removed. And how are you going to be able to remove Donald Trump? Well, July 13th didn't work, now did it. So you have to piss off a leader of a country that has what? Our military equipment, in order to remove the sitting president of the United States. So by Trump doing what he did, he pissed off Zelensky. Zelensky's now going to use our military equipment against us, and he's going to take out the character Donald Trump.
Okay, wait. So far, okay. Let me just interpret. So again, this is all false, but we're just having fun examining what this is. Sort of a cautionary tale. If you allow yourself to fall down any social media rabbit hole, you might end up in this one. So there's some plan that needs to come to fruition. And that's why Trump, he didn't really swear in on the Bible. That's why he didn't put his hand on the Bible, which is true. He accidentally didn't put his hand on the Bible, which doesn't mean anything. You don't have to do that technically constitutionally. But so on March 4th, he'll actually be sworn in. But he's not going to be sworn in because he's an actor. This is a supporter of his, by the way. But she's saying the actor needs to be taken out. And that's what Zelensky's going. Do you think even with some of our military equipment that we just are, you know who has equipment like ours? A lot of other countries. Russia, China, they don't have our exact equipment, but they have advanced military equipment. That doesn't mean they can just take out the US president. But that is supposed to clear the way for maybe, are we about to get to the real Trump? Then comes out and says, here I am. He has risen. Is that what we're getting to? He has risen. Oh, the Trump Easter.
Which is a good move. And then in the mix of that, in between all of that, the dead man switch is going to happen, because everybody who has an open mind, who opened their third eye and is critically thinking and free thinking, already knows that everybody you're seeing is just a character. Now, if you hear any names that are brought up of people that are coming into the cabinet, know that you need to look into their background, because J.D. Vance, the original 1.0, is actually, or was actually evil. Donald Trump doesn't hide his enemies, he puts them in the spotlight. So all
Jaden, oh my gosh, you're such a 1.0. That's gonna be my new insult. You're a 1.0.
All these people that are listed that are in these positions are actually evil, and to everybody's surprise, even the original Donald Trump was. But Donald Trump was a big name.
You see, he didn't actually say grab him by the you know what. That was 1.0 Donald. 2.0 Donald is much more cool on consent. Okay, that's her point.
Like many others that we're seeing on TV still that are still going, they're big names, which does what? Brings a lot of influence in. A big name is a loud voice. Are you understanding yet? So eventually down this fuckery of shit that's going on that everybody's patiently waiting for, it's going to come to an end. Because Trump said, I'll speak it that way. Trump said Easter timeline. Easter this year is on April 20th. Explain to me how that works when last year it was in March and we had a leap year that year, which only added one day to the year. And how did it jump from March 28th to April 20th within a year? That shit don't make any sense. Easter jumps around all the time. It's so weird how that shit happens.
Yeah. Jade, let me play a little bit further. I'm going to explain the Easter thing, but I need to grab something if you'll full screen real quick while we watch a little more.
But anywho, with that being said, the dead man switch has to come in. The true inauguration has to happen. We have to go from the corporation to the republic, which will not happen until after March 4th. Once March 4th happens, we will go from the corporation to the republic, which means that any debt that you have with the corporation, any federal banking system, anything to do with the banking system at all, central banking, it doesn't matter, they cannot legally, by the Constitution, take your debt from the corporation to the republic.
Get it. You're cooking. Actually, before playing more of this, if you'll take that, because we're about to hear the big conclusion. Let me just quickly explain. She said, isn't it... Can you quickly add a little synth? All right, there. Boom. We'll put that in later. Why is it that Easter is always on a different day? Does that not raise concern? They want us to believe he risen, but he risen on different days? Really? Okay. Maybe that means that Trump's just a character. Or... the date of Easter Sunday is determined based on a lunisolar calendar and follows this rule. Easter falls on the first Sunday after the first full moon on or after the spring equinox, March 21st. If the full moon falls on a Sunday, Easter is celebrated the following Sunday. This means Easter can be as early as March 22nd or as late as April 25th. So there actually is a reason why it jumps around, and we could have done a quick check on that before diving into this, but let's hear the big bombshell part.
Leap year that year, which only added one day to the year. And how did it jump from March 28th to April 20th within a year? That shit don't make any sense.
Very suspicious.
Easter jumps around all the time. It's so weird how that shit happens. But anywho, with that being said, the dead man switch has to come in. The true inauguration has to happen. We have to go from the corporation to the republic, which will not happen until after March 4th. Once March 4th happens, we will go from the corporation to the republic, which means that any debt that you have with the corporation, any federal banking system, anything to do with the banking system at all, central banking, it doesn't matter, they cannot legally, by the Constitution, take your debt from the corporation to the republic. Therein lies your debt staying with the corporation. After March 4th, we switch to the republic, which means your debt is no longer there. Then we're going to go to the free energy, free utilities, and then everything's going to go back to the 1950s pricing. But until then, even then after, at some point, Donald Trump is going to be removed by pissing off Zelensky. He is putting the chess move into place in order for everything to happen. The Pope has to die. There's a bunch of shit that still has to happen. But it's all...
Where are you finding this stuff? What?
Strategically planned. So remember, if Donald Trump is removed from the picture, please don't freak out. It's all a part of the script. It's all a part of the movie. The movie is coming to an end. It could be before April 20th. It could be after. We don't know. But just know that the dividends are coming. Your debt is being wiped. You're going to have a year to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do, to fixing your house, to getting a new rig, to be able to afford property anywhere else. It doesn't matter. Because it is no longer owned by the federal government. It is going to be open to us, the United States citizens. But however, we are actually United States sovereign beings is what we are. Citizen means slave. So your dreams are going to come true. I suggest that you just take your mind off of this stuff and start planning what it is that you want to do, the animals that you want to have, the places that you want to live. Dead man switch is coming. The end of...
I really wish we could get a definition on what the dead man switch is. She keeps referencing that.
The corporation is going to die, the republic is going to come in, and we'll be good to go. So, we end the video with that. Just sit back and relax and enjoy how these credits are going to roll.
Okay, so listen, I say this with love, but that is gray. Please stop with that. Just okay. So first we need to figure out what it is that is being alleged. The reason I find this dangerous too is she's saying, presumably some people are watching this and are fans of her. Again, I don't know, but if there are, some people are going to think that Jaden said in my ear while we were watching this, are her followers just going to stop paying student debt and stuff like that? Stop paying off their student loans? Because she's saying all of our debt will be released and we'll be debt free and we'll be getting free money and energy will be free and there won't be any taxes and we can buy any properties that we want. So presumably people can make really bad life decisions if they thought this was coming. But I've heard this before. There's a misinterpretation of let me fact check myself real quick. An 1871 act passed by Congress that restructured the Washington, D.C. local government. And they wrongly interpreted that and then injected this corporation idea somewhere into believing the entire U.S. government had been overhauled to be a corporation. It's not really a republic anymore. False, obviously. But just a classic little reading mistake on that law. And so then they created out of that a belief that there's really only been, I think it was 19 legitimate presidents, and that Trump was coming in. But I guess she's saying the character Trump comes in, he's taken out, then the real Trump comes, then that Trump or somebody else makes everything free and everything cheap and you get whatever property you want. But see, even think about that for a second. What would that mean? The reason why we've come up with a monetary system and then you use the currency that was established to do things like purchase property is because everyone might want this. You have to have some way to decide, how do we exchange things? How do we decide who owns what? When she said you can just own whatever you want. What if I want to own Jaden's house? What, I can just take it? What if he wants to, this breaks me. It breaks my brain. Not, is this true or not? Because you can go through like the corporation thing they came up with. That's easy to figure out. Easter, these claims you can individually, but how do they thread it all together and why? And please don't believe all your debt's going to be wiped away. Don't. I rarely give financial advice. That would be advice I'd give you. Your debt is not going to be wiped away across everything on March 4th. And what's interesting is she's actually very well spoken. You notice she's conveying her thoughts. 6 minutes. There weren't any edits until sort of the end, and there was a rhetorical efficacy to it. And so it's weird to hear someone explain something that seems just so obviously on its face absurd, and then say things like, why is Easter jumping around on dates, when you can quickly, the quickest of Googs can figure that out for you. But what is that disconnect? And this is why you have to be conscious of really your social media intake. Not that you just accidentally stumble. Maybe, I mean, you really could, because they've done research on how much, given that engagement cells, algorithms can just push people into the most wild of views. But I think what this ultimately comes down to for someone like her is, by the way, make sure you're subscribed. What the heck? I meant to say that earlier. And if you want to get the daily bonus show, you can do it by clicking the join button below. We have a lot of fun there. But I think for a lot of people, they need, similar to certain people's, spiritual beliefs, people want to understandably have a bigger plan. And so for her, a bigger plan that someone's facilitating where Trump's just an actor and every prominent person's an actor. And that's for some reason, and it's all going to happen, and then we're all going to be good, and all of our problems are going to be taken care of. Even if that never comes to be, as a hair is just harassing me, even if that never comes to be, it's a nice thing to believe in for her. It's just when it starts crossing over into important subjects, like how you should manage your debt, you can't just be throwing that all around, right? And that seems to be the case with her. Share your thoughts in the comments.